Welcome back, everyone. We just saw domination take place on Split, honestly. You guys were saying, is this dominant? Yes, it is. It really was, especially towards the second half, Wyatt. It was not only sad getting the second pistol, but getting the bonus, and then you see a Bob 4K to almost close it out. It was just no opportunity for TSM to get anything done.
It definitely helps when your Cypher gets 7 kills on 2 pistol rounds. That's a pretty good way to get an advantage on both halves. But also, when you get an advantage like that, you still have to capitalize off of it and win the following rounds, which they did. That was just all the way throughout such a comprehensively strong map from SAD. Can 100% see why they picked into it.
That's the kind of play that I feel like helps you so much when you have a Cypher like that, and when you have a player that is just very, very good on the pistol rounds, very good with the share, with the goals, like we got the chance to see. It really does help, and it has been the topic of conversation in Challengers when you have some teams that are really good at pistols and some teams that really do struggle to do so. But as you said, right, is not only getting the pistol, but capitalizing from it right after with the second bonus and with the rifle rounds, Gompers, that we saw constantly going the way of SAD. And I loved the way that they were playing, because I mean, we were talking about this team being so explosive, so aggressive, but today, especially on that first half on the attacking side, they were only pushing the sides about 30 seconds when it was like 30 seconds remaining, 25 seconds remaining to get that spike planted. And before that, it was just focusing on getting that first pick. We saw it even on the last round of the half, right? It was Bob holding with the operator, waiting for the mistakes to happen on the other side of the defense, to go for a swing, to try to get some info, and then you punish. And this is what SAD were doing so well. They had that read on TSM.
Yeah, and that's what I honestly like about SAD Esports, is they know when to keep themselves silent, when to keep themselves laid back, and they read into TSM like a book, to be quite honest with you. They knew TSM's playstyle, they knew the tendencies that this team typically like to pull through with, so the fact that they were able to read into the mistakes that, hey, okay, GMT's gonna smoke this, we could probably play for some sort of pick here down in B main, or, you know, A main, hey, let's just watch this, let's see if anyone's gonna push up, because they have the tendency to do so. And then let's back off after that and go down towards the B site to fight this Cypher. And it was reads like those that, you know, they didn't have to play aggressive. They knew exactly how this team was going to play, and that's why they chose Split.
When you're playing that mirror composition as well, you know how it does playing the defense with the Cypher, trying to slow you down, trying to stop specifically that aggression, right? So that is why SAD was just so good at this attacking side, being so patient and capitalizing out of every single advantage it seems like they had, except for what you mentioned. It was the 2 clutches that we saw in the first half for 7, trying to keep it alive, and it was those that were trying to keep the team alive in the first half. But also something that really caught my attention was we didn't even see a timeout take place for TSM until it was 5-10. So to me, it seems like that just gives me an indication that there might have been an idea, the right idea on how to stop it, and then it was only until then that it seems like it was kind of getting away from them and ended up happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Heading into this next map that's coming up, I think, you know, I'd like to see, hopefully, one of the things that was hurting them was, not just did they lose the pistol rounds, but for a team that loves to run the operator a lot, there was only one moment that they picked it up onto Sim, and they immediately went for like a push down mid with the op, which was, I think, a little questionable to do that the first round you bring it out, because the opposition SAD, they didn't even know you had it regardless. Like, you can just use it to pick up an angle somewhere on the map and stack elsewhere. I would have preferred to see something like that. But regardless, when we're on Breeze here, which is a really strong op map, obviously, like, the whole map is basically, it's the wide open gun duel map, and an op can really take over. So if they can win a pistol here, which, you know, you kind of need to win pistols to win a game, and that they can actually get the economy going, actually get an op online, and string some rounds with that, I think that could be perhaps the key to them winning Breeze. You know, having Sim in a situation where he can come alive, because as for map 1, it was all GMD and 7 keeping him in the game when they could.
And it's weird because Sim, throughout the first, second, third week, and a little bit of the fourth week, we saw him being very, very consistent, one of the most consistent duelists, especially when it came down to the operator. He was the best for the longest time. When it came to stats, when it came to ACS, when it came to kills, he was up there. And now we're seeing a couple other players having to step up, though I do think on Breeze, as you're saying, I'm expecting this to go the way of TSM because of that. It has to be a zone of comfort for Sim, and playing with this standard composition, I think it really helps. Also, when you look at SAD, they have not played this map of Breeze in the whole of the split one and all the 4 or 5 weeks now that they played. It was always their second ban. So they were open to playing it, but no one was picking it first choice. So now you do get the chance to see it. I do expect the compositions to be pretty standard. We do have a chance, right, to see what we've been seeing in Tier 1, what we've seen from other teams with maybe the Yoru. But last time they played it, it was that Jet. It was that standard composition that you would expect on Breeze. So let's jump into the agent select. Let's figure it out. Let's see if things are going to look the same as they did in the open qualifier for SAT, or it might be something new, something different, as we've seen. And guess what? It is actually different. It is TSM bringing the Yoru and the Jet double duelist. And again, this is what we've seen recently. Some teams feeling more and more comfortable playing with this double duelist, with this Yoru, and now even a Proto on the Astra. Might be the first time that I see a Proto on the Astra. So there's a lot to break down. There's a lot, but there's a big chance for us to take it to a map 3. And once again, Casters, is down to you.
Honestly, Dryad, I agree with you. I'm pretty surprised with this. A lot of it being, I thought this was actually the composition I was going to see VCT Esports pull out of their pockets, but it's coming through from TSM. The Astra coming through for the double controller, double duelist setup. Absolutely no Sentinel. Wyatt.
I am a little bit surprised here. I was definitely not expecting that one to come out at all. I mean, this is kind of something that, like, I want to say Paper X kind of used to play. Like, they played Jet, Yoru, but some of the other agents were a little bit different. It'll be interesting to see whether kind of cooked up with this comp, what the intention is going to be. They've gone to 2 maps where SAD just really play the standard stuff. And as we saw in the first one, playing with the standard stuff, their fundamentals were really, really good. And we'll see if here on the defensive side, they try to exploit that lack of a Sentinel on TSM. I'm kind of questioning if they are going to have it within them to make sure to cover their flanks effectively beyond all these angles, because that was not something they were really able to do on the first map. And now without a Sentinel, it's going to be even more difficult.
Yeah, it is surprising to have a lack of that. I think the whole purpose is to maybe just leave that firepower down. 7 already gaining a lot of ground initially off this attacking half and pushing themselves down to the site. But of course, Covert, it's every pistol round. I feel like it's every pistol round that we see Covert just pull through with like that first-hand engagement.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see GMD is ready for this late lurk through doors in mid. SAD want to clear him out. They're expecting this. Covert again.
They still somehow actually didn't catch that. So GMD's free to roam down in mid as much as they please. Of course, Covert is down, so there's no util left down in the middle of sight. So the pistol round looking a little bit more in favor of TSM here now, especially with GMD finding shots very heavily based.
Poison's off.
So of course, still Poison Orb, making its way. Headshots hit, but it doesn't matter. 3K coming through from TSM.
That Astra utility so obnoxious when trying to get onto the spike, of course, but it's GMD, the man who's been a star for this TSM squad 4 weeks straight. Just finds the perfect timing on that mid-lurk through doors, able to evade SAD. Kind of trying to re-clear, thinking that flank could be there, but didn't get their eyes on him. But really, though, the silliest moment was 7 straight up just TP'd into a trip and died, which is so unlucky. He was just, pushed up all the way through halls, wanted to make all that noise, draw attention, TP to sight, and then just immediately threw his life away. So, a little unlucky.
Need that back. Blocking vision.
Nah, it was a part of the plan. They still won that. It's okay. 7.
Cutting through.
Actually getting the first opening pick over towards A. Viper will not going to be set up. They know it's clear. I mean, the only thing really holding them back is Darkest, but still not knowing.
Yeah, they got that one kill onto a Proto, but he just carried over the Ghost from the pistol round while everyone else was going to buy up, so not actually really recovering a weapon. I mean, I guess Coburg upgraded from the Classic to a Ghost, which for him is essentially a Vandal, but
remaining.
going to be dealt with from GMD already. 2 rounds in a row, finding some big impact there.
TSM and Sad Bob. Left alone down in mid. Of course,
What?
I mean, nice shots through bugs. 7 is not having a good time on the Yoru so far. Already 2 incidences happening, but still TSM running away with the 2-0.
Very small amount of damage done, but I think the one thing that I do kind of want to point attention to there from Sad, of course, you know, maybe going for a little bit more aggression because they are on the eco, but immediately 2 rounds in, they were pushing down all the way out of B. And, you know, that can indicate something that they're going to continue to do given the lack of Sentinel from TSM. They're going to have, you know, players actively watching that. And if they're not, Sad can just push up into those flanks through the TSM spawn area.
Now starting to hover just above to gain some high ground. Nice positioning from Skarn just to start off the round. Not something you would expect, which I think is the reason why TSM were so set off by that. Now Spike left down as well, having to pick that up.
And at this point, Sad can just play things quite slow. You know, perhaps really the only detriment from the previous round was they did bring in a couple sheriffs. So you can see Bob and Skarn are on light armors. If they do run into that outlaw from Sim, it's only going to take 1 shot to go down. And you can see that Skarn is over on that B site where Sim is. So perhaps an opportunity to get a pick with that outlaw on the light armor player.
Sim's still waiting around for somebody to peek the angle, but you still have some of the trips set down from Coburg. So regardless, the biggest thing is really relying on this heavy flank that's already coming down. Pot flash left out, but Skarn still watching both angles. And of course, seeing the fake behind that.
1 enemy remaining.
And still looking for more. Sad Esports finding themselves. Everybody on the side of TSM. Now leaving it up to Sim to try to find a shot of their own, especially with the outlaw. Of course, they could do as much work and effort as they want, but still taking off some of that damage off Bob. 13 seconds left. And a dream
10 seconds left.
to try to keep that spike in hand. But yeah, that trip just makes things so difficult.
A good setup there from Coburg and Skarn, watching each other's backs. You could see a fake TP came in on that hit from 7 early on to try to fake that he might have gotten deep into the site, but Coburg was able to keep his eyes on that while popping the cage in main, so Skarn didn't have to worry about their back. There was the trip within that cage too, and they could just focus on tunnel. Just a good setup, a bit of a gun advantage, and they play things well to close it out. Now TSM are going to be on the full buy. 7 has the Yoru ultimate, might just send it into B to try to get the info on the defenders' positions.
Yeah. Now,
Cage triggered.
able to utilize the ultimate from the Yoru, and that gains a lot of information. So TSM free entry down onto site. Of course, retake already prepped up regardless from Sad Esports. Kind of reading into this moment, this situation, Coburg with some of the information given away. Now, yeah, understanding that the TP had taken place as well.
3 players here from TSM are going to be playing off-site back in main because the spike is planted for them. So we're going to have the late round spam fest.
Everybody's just chilling down in the backside of Proto, though, still left up to 2 stars. And Coburg making some of that space happen, but the pop flash led out, still leaving everybody on the side of Sad Esports in a very, very bad predicament. Huge 3K especially coming through from Sim on that jet alone. So big entries coming through from the double duelist composition.
It was that pop flash you mentioned that was the catalyst to that round win. I like that from TSM. You know, they had 3 players offsite, so those 2 guys stuck in B could have been in trouble had they, you know, kind of just been left to themselves to fend off all 5 players from Sad. But TSM making a proactive play to get in there and help those guys while they were under pressure. Able to convert the first gun round of the game. Well played.
Surprising to see how many different sites and different approaches they're taking. You can see they're putting everything inside of their playbook just into this game alone. Oh, they saw that though. Soul No 7 is just around the outskirts of what's happening mid, and now some information possibly being pulled out by bot. Nobody really taken by that Hunter's Fury, so Sim pretty safe down in mid for now.
And in the meantime, A main being worked, Spike being recovered from a Proto, gonna meet up with the rest of the players. They've left Sim here to just try and find a pick, but look at the re-clear from Sad. So aware, just contacting in. Great pick from Darkest, and now 4v3 on the retake. What a blind. I mean, feeling it, just going for another fight. A little overconfident, perhaps, would have been in the 4-on-2, but now it's a 3-on-2 with Zosal rotating on the flank behind these TSM players.
Ooh, 2 heads seen as well. GMT, pretty good read on this, too. Not really knowing one's above, one below, but still actually fighting this off. Coburg with a refrag. A Proto left down in the middle of sight. 2 stars left, but even then, you have the plant down. All you have to do is fight this post plant. Take things away. Retake still not looking as stable as it should be, but still left alone.
Wow.
And beautiful Zippo clutch coming through from a Proto.
Congratulations.
Proto so solid with the aim, always been renowned for it for years at this point, but Darkest right now definitely has his head in his hands, just like, God damn, why did I go for that extra fight? If he just survived in the 4-on-2. They should have cleaned this thing up with ease. That was such a good pick there. But you could just tell he was feeling it after getting those shots and was like, I'm going to hit this third. But it ends up costing them dearly. Forced onto the eco now, and TSM 4-1. Economy looking strong. In position to start running away with this half.
Oh, Sam is watching like a hawk with the Outlaw. Taking out Skarn, a big punishment for, you know, saving, pulling out the Blade Storm, so the ultimate is gone. And of course, no potential for taking in any Vandal.
And now just slowing things down, waiting out pushes. Pushes that Sad made previously when they were on the eco. If you remember, they went all the way down B, and that's what TSM have to do without this Sentinel. They have to be expecting defensive aggression, which the Outlaw is definitely good at countering, picking up the scope weapon on attack. That's one of the benefits of it, catching those aggressive pushes on defense where they're walking at you.
Oh, they've set up the wall, so you know at least now the B site is the place to be, though a huge flank that might work out. Anti-flash being played by Coburg. And now Sim just trying to see if they can find Zolso down towards the back of sight. And a follow-up from there, but beautiful shots from Bob and Darkest. 2K to bring into this game. TSM, can they hold on? And they absolutely can. It's a Proto finding some sort of fight. The scenario now leading a bit more in favor of TSM as that gun advantage is there. But of course, all it takes is one shot from Bob, and we've seen it time and time again. But it's a Proto to run away with a Zippo clutch.
It looked like TSM were going to pay for their lack of the flank watch, the lack of that Sentinel, you know, not able to have a trip behind them if they were running a Cypher. Completely taken advantage of by Darkest, and I think that was also Coburg with him in tow back in B main. 2 clutches in a row from a Proto. Kind of reminiscent of the first game when it was 7 clutching up to keep them in the first half. But on that one, I say keep them in the first half because right now TSM, they are starting to run away with this thing.
Yeah, timeout coming out at a better time, if anything. Man, that's hard. And you could see like the desperate measures that this team is taking, but you know, a solo peek coming through from A main just to fight something out, definitely not the approach. Luckily enough, actually, some pretty good shots coming through from Barb and Darkest, but I mean, how heavy is that going to carry you into this?
For sure, and you know, it's those 2 players, Bob and Darkest, that initiator duo for Sad has really propelled them to this Dark Horse team status. It's allowed them to get wins against teams that, you know, maybe you weren't expecting, or keep things close against teams like M80. A really talented duo there. Skarn going to be picking up the operator now in defense. Finally, the economy has gotten to the point where that's going to be online.
Get out of my way.
Oh, and they're ready for it. Huge entry. Already tons of value coming through from this on the side of Sim, but a retake from Sad. They've read into this round.
Look at the ults right now for TSM. 4 of them. Viper's Pit gonna come in. Poised. Look at his position. Back outside of sight. Gonna be able to use that Hunter's Fury if necessary.
Skarn moves away. No, that would have been such a solid hold as well. Free entry from a Proto just to walk down inside of tunnels. Of course, I mean, Viper's Pit still left up. Surprising shots coming through, though, on the side of Sad. Not looking as to where GMD might be, though stuck down towards the back of sight. And wasting some of the util. This is huge. They know exactly where GMD is based off that information alone. And Sim can't fight it. Majority of the players down, and a Proto with the right click just looking for it. Still waiting. And it doesn't matter. Halfway through, not able to find it.
A valiant effort from Sad up against an array of ultimates, low odds of winning that. Just barely unable to. It was poised, biding his time with a Hunter's Fury off-site, back towards spawn. Got it off at the perfect moment. Just barely. Look at the spike. I mean, just perfect timing from poised on that ult. I do want to kind of check in on the economy when we get back to this, though, with all players going down. Still more than enough for a buy for TSM, of course, but they suffer a bit of damage here. Maybe that gives Sad an opening later in this game. It's going to be a fast hit from them, but perhaps slowed down by this Viper's Pit. We'll see. They don't have a drone to re-clear it right now. So without that option, they could, if they really wanted to, use Seven's ultimate to run in there and try and ping where the Viper is to spam. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that happens late round.
Yeah, typically using it for entry's sake. Although now, I mean, that doesn't really matter. Do you need it? 3K just off the rip from Poised. TSM playing a different game than Sadar for sure. Even with 3 players watching the angle, still can't seem to pick off the fight. I mean, regardless, Stinger's still set on lockdown, but Poised just not letting go. Huge cleanup from TSM.
Really well done there in mid from Poised. Sad going for that triple face, just trying to catch them on the cross with the Sheriffs, but of course, significantly outgunned by the Vandal. TSM, some really good execs here, and yeah, absolutely have run away with this game now at this point, 7-1. Skarn is going to be able to get the op up once more. Proto's been sitting on this ultimate as well, the Astra Wall. Perhaps this is the round where they use it to cut off a big line on B with the exec. And there it is.
Okay, lineups. GMD knows how to possibly clear up the backside. Interested as to see where that goes, but yeah, op already given away on the side of TSM. They know Skarn has it. Still looking for that entry though, regardless. Dostal. Okay, not necessarily there anymore, but so many players just sitting around down towards backside. Huge hold though. Down from Coburg. And of course the sandwich in Zostal still looking to fight this and keep this hold set down 2v. Now actually 2v1 situation with Darkest. A very, very late rotation in. And they have majority of the flashes as well that could have kept this team alive.
Heads up from a Proto, putting that star down, knows they could be flanking. Darkest finds the timing on Sim, and the third clutch of the game from a Proto. He's just been so consistent in these moments, stepping up for the 3rd time. Things were dangerous there for a second for TSM. After they got that wall down, they missed a little bit of a timing getting into the site slowly, and 4 players from Sad pushed in front of the wall to fight as TSM came in. But they traded really well for each other, and a Proto just so damn reliable this map.
I do like the importance of the Astra has been honestly surprisingly huge. Oh no. Yeah, 7 regardless might be picking a fight here. Actually very smart to back off, especially with the info gathering happening from Sad.
Just a number of eco rounds for Sad that have really had the scoreline spiral out of control, and such a reversal from the first map for TSM. Maybe Split is just really not the one for them. The team play struggling so much there, and it's just really been rejuvenated here on map 2.
Yeah, somehow holding their own. Sad finally able to pick up 2 Vandals. Although 7 with the op is the only thing that worries me. You got a Yoru with a decoy.
Enemy
Just waiting for these
Last
players
player
to
standing.
peek themselves out of existence. Now, I mean, the possibility there, jump peek out, and they know they've offset 7. Of course, there was no suppression added to it, but still able to clear the angle. 9-1 from TSM, a huge difference from what we just saw in Split.
Oh, it was the first time it looked like one of those big eco-round faces from Sad were actually going to net them a round win. But, you know, it also helps to be up 9-1 when you've won 4 clutches in the game. I've heard that is somewhat useful to a dominant victory. They are in firm control here. Skarn, 3rd time with the op.
Yeah.
Unable to really find value so far, though, and Sim actually picking up the attack side operator.
Ahead.
But it's such a huge investment into the round, too, even though you lose it. But keeping their head strong. I'm surprised they're, like, even now, actually finding out that Sim has the op as well, just pushing themselves down in tunnels, keeping absolutely no attention towards main.
Star recall goes down. Sim gets some space here. Bob holding the passive angle right now.
Beautiful.
Nice contact entry off the back of that. Here comes an A split. So much pressure onto Coburg now.
Yeah, op still set up. Looking for something. And actually potential for somebody to fight the angle is huge. Sad Esports, they've been known to just go for it. If anything, the confidence still there despite losing so many rounds. Now looking for the potential as to where that fight might happen in tunnels. Especially down towards backside 7, still holding. Now waiting for this push to commence, but will it? I mean, already suppression just led down to it. Slow retrieval coming through from Sad and a pop flash from 7 that keeps this team alive, but it ends up flashing themselves as well. Still holding on to it. Beautiful. Shots just led up to TSM. You cannot lose this round if you are 7, especially with the Zenny Flawless just put inside of your pocket.
Sad so apprehensive on that retake because the loss of hull control earlier. Feeling like at any moment Sim could have just peeked out there, gotten a shot with the operator in the side. It slowed things down. 7 taking full advantage of it. This guy has just been so good this season. I mean, really looking, I personally, I feel a lot stronger than last year. Stepping up so much for TSM here, playing a number of, different roles depending on the maps. And an opportunity to frag out here now, playing the duelist. Cypher on the previous. Such a star player for this team. Sad's last chance to get a second round on defense with a mixed buy.
Okay, actually, huge start. Sim goes down, and now the ultimate as well kind of caught out 7 in a bad position, but it's Poise that finds another shot. Sad Esports, they're on the defense. Big retrieval from TSM, and everybody down now having to fight the best that they can. Of course, ultimate pulled out, looking for 1 round in this half. That doesn't seem to be given to them easy. There's a judge in the hands of Zolstol, and of course, it's just not really the best buy here.
No, not at all. I mean, you can see the classic is preferred at that range. Gets spotted as well. This will at least give an opportunity for Coburg and Bob to try to close the distance from backside. Shock darts to clear out Pyramid. No one is there, though. 7 holding the cross with an op, but gets double-faced. Threads the needle. An opportunity now for Sad to get a second on the board.
Oh, and this is huge. Diffusal already set up, but of course, they have the post plant. Stars just stepped down from a proto. They fight this, they win this fight, they might just be able to. But it doesn't matter. Time in the hands of Sad Esports, and of course, Diffusal there as well.
At least recovering just barely, but
Switching sides.
TSM obviously dominance in that half. 4 clutches, some nice site execs. 7 having a really good moment there at the end with that 4K. And there's just been such a difference on this map for Sad. So many more moments of individual efforts without a second player trying to assist, which was just never the case on the first. Moments where it feels like we're down, we need to win a round, and I want to be the person that's going to make the play to do it. But that's not the catalyst of their success. It wasn't on Split at all. Opportunity for a pistol round now to try and make a miracle comeback happen.
Reveal their secrets.
This is looking like a pretty aggro push. Especially to start off the round. My biggest concern is Cobra going to get another 3K.
Can I use that?
Maybe I just jinxed it, maybe not. Yeah, but huge pop flash already set down to it. Bob protecting everybody on the side of SAD Esports. Another headshot already set through. This is huge. SAD get this round. They pretty much guarantee themselves too at that. Now just having to watch the flank and keep themselves together.
Another pretty explosive sight hit from SAD. We saw on the first map that they were so good on these execs at just watching all of the proper angles for each other, exposing TSM when they went for peaks. The Proto playing close just had to fight off so many players after that. Those backside TSM players just, or even during that, really not set up to help him too much. And a good start here from SAD. I mean, I think they could turn things around here on attack for sure. Their side was great on split. We'll see what they buy up here. Darkest is going to get the Outlaw, a player who, I mean, just has that weapon constantly, especially in, you know, the couple previous Breeze games that they did play, was picking it up a lot. And I like that TSM are just going to go for the full classics here. Yeah, just 5 classics on the board. Going to make sure that that Outlaw can't get any one-hit kills, that they can buy heavy armor on the next round.
Oh, they've set down the drone with a huge flank already. Coming around the back from TSM, just looking to offset this team, but you have a controller here. And this is the biggest thing we talked about. It's going to be so much easier for SAT to just lead themselves onto site due to that lack of sentinels. Now Cobra actually knows where the flank is coming from, is going to fight this alone, which is probably the scariest thing as well. No, Zostel leading around the back, a slow push-up from TSM. A possibility there, but maybe not. Still just getting taken out in a matter of seconds.
Nicely dealt with. And yeah, as you said, I mean, a moment right away to immediately highlight the difference in this composition. Trip gets broken. They set up a crossfire to deal with that flank straight away. I mean, the classic is just so broken still, I guess. GMD full blind, 1 right click. Cool. I mean, that was nice from SAD too. The knife for the info, the flash for the kill. Are they even going to be able to save the rifles at this point?
Player standing.
Yeah, I mean, just barely getting out there at the end. Timing that well. I was nervous for a second that the economy was just going to get boomed, but still going to be able to buy up here. I mean, that is so silly from GMD. That's a pretty good eco round, especially 5 classics and you get 3 kills. You'll definitely take that.
I think they definitely understand the differences in their composition. I think it's just going to be so much harder because there really is nothing holding this team back. SAD can just full-blown run it down and then have flank watch left to their availability.
Early orb going to be taken by Darkest. TSM well aware that there are some players here towards A main. Sim is getting close. It's going to dry peek this, take the fight, and win it. I mean, that's a lot of confidence. And frankly, those were the kind of plays that were getting punished by SAD on the last map on Split when TSM went for peaks like that on defense. But Sim with a crispy first shot, something he's definitely known for. His entries for TSM have been pretty superb this season.
Yeah, Dark is definitely feeling slightly disappointed. But a lot of space taken up. I mean, they've pretty much have the majority of the outskirts of the A site, just needing to fight this off, knowing Sim is still there as well, but tons of damage. Just take it away from Zolstol. Off the wall alone. Now they back things off. They're trying to make an arena just to fight things out, but Coburg making an entry, a dry peek, just led forward with no information, and a late pinch coming through down towards door side.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, up to this team to really make the difference. Of course, also finds one, but it's TSM Sim to continue the just havoc that has been happening for the side of TSM.
And realistically, this should be the nail in the coffin for them due to all that damage they got in the last round with the classics. The economy in a pretty bad situation here for SAD. You can see the haphazard buy that they've gotten. A bunch of light armors, 2 vandals, an outlaw, a ghost. I mean, at least it's Coburg with it. But a ghost, nonetheless, not really the best on Breeze when, you know, you're taking fights across the map and you're dinking people for, like, you have to hit 3 dinks to get a kill. Stinger for Zostal. They're posted up here for what looks like going to be a fast A play. Perhaps Coburg going late into halls.
Okay, now the drone actually taken out. And huge suppression. So the only reason why you would fight this is just to keep this team back. Of course, Sin having absolutely no util to utilize to get themselves out of the way. Actually, leaves Sad Esports in a pretty good position. No Poise still able to find Darkest in the deepest parts.
Revealing area.
And regardless, finding the shots as well. So they, of course, flank left down to Coburg, still hitting the headshots as well. 7 now low enough to the point where this fight could be taken either way, but a 1v2 situation. With Bob now left alone, the spike isn't even in their hands. Of course, Wall goes down.
One enemy remaining.
1 shot, 2 shot, maybe now shot just to end things off. But it doesn't hit. 38 health left and a wraparound. They've heard it though. Those shock darts still coming out.
No.
What in the world? Fighting the angle with a shock dart is crazy.
I saw the vision. I mean, we could all see the vision. I was hoping it would happen. Just because it would have been cool, but sadly it did not. A good attempt from Bob. Those are some crispy shots, but sad on this exec just getting really disconnected from each other, the individual players. Pushing up in different areas, not in positions to really trade from each other. And that bit of a mistake just gets exploited and punished by TSM, who so far played both halves pretty well. We'll see. Yeah, Sim just wants to get so aggressive on these defensive sides, really. Triple pushing through mid on that one to open this round up.
Nowhere to run!
Oh, and the Hunter's Fury. It's kind of add on to the pain, but Sim is... Oh, this might be beautiful if Sim uses timing on this, especially now that Dash is gone. So, if anything, maybe just looking to fight this, but a huge rotation over towards the B side.
Yeah, making all that noise there, hoping that Coburg could work up and take space, exactly what he does, and off that, just fast rotate into the B side. A Proto on the cross, though, might be able to get the first blood of the round.
Yeah, possibility there. Huge shots coming through with just a Sheriff alone. I mean, we're on match point. This is dire need to win the round if you're Sad Esports. Kind of looking at the way things might work out. Skarn with another headshot as well, not wanting to collect the space, especially since tons of players just on the outskirts here for TSM.
We'll see now what TSM opt to do. They want to just play it safe and try and lock up the game later, or go for a risky kind of 3v5. Poise taking a fight, just seeing if he can win it, and maybe off that try to go for something. But yeah, no, the time is way too late. That realistically wasn't even a possibility. So Sad gonna stay in this thing just barely. Gonna be able to get a couple rifles into the next, and I mean, that was a good round. Nothing crazy. They just pressure A, Coburg works B, gets the space. They go play off the space he took. Viper's Pit for the round end. I mean, that is, they pulled that page out of the Valorant textbook, and I mean, it works. It's just a good round.
Yeah, huge chance for recovery in terms of economy too this round, with obviously Skarn able to pull out the Blade Storm, but man, my biggest worry is 7. Like, we saw some pretty interesting stuff come out of the Yours so far with the ult alone, so you know, for this to be a huge information gather is I mean, not even exactly what it really truly is.
Standing ahead.
Yeah, me personally, I just hope we don't see a fake comeback right now. I either need the comeback of the century, or I need TSM to close this out so we can go to Ascent and watch a Yoru Brimstone Gecko. We got the fast hit here from Sad. They're going to go into A quite quickly. They had trouble scaling together before. We'll see if they can fix that.
Okay, is it a fake comeback? Maybe not. Actually, they're putting together the numbers, but a huge fake out that allows Poise to, I mean, take another one in.
Player standing.
Yeah, TSM getting shot through walls, man. And yeah, a Proto left alone. They have a star left. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, how much work is that going to do you? Could possibly fight up Coburg, but yeah, straight through the blocks. This is what we were missing on the defense, and now we finally get to see it on the attack, but still, match point, 1 round. It's 1 round versus 6.
At what point do we become believers? That's my question.
I think at the point where we are 11-12 is my...
Oh, that's the worst time to believe. Because then if they lose, it's even more heartbreaking. I'll start believing it. I think 9 rounds is what I start believing.
I'm gonna
give it
now.
a solid 9.
I'm gonna believe it
now
because the look in Bob's eyes show me death, and I think that's valid enough at this point.
You know, Bob is locked in when she doesn't have the Rubik's Cube in hand at the timeout. I think I've seen that every other time. Laser focus right now.
I honestly believe in Bob supremacy. Queen Bob stuff. This is my queen. So, for me, personally, I think we get the dubs here. Hopefully I didn't troll, but I'm believing now. That's my storyline.
I mean, if you don't believe in the Bob supremacy, you've literally not watched any games with Bob in them this season. She's been really, really good. So crucial to SAD's success, but all right.
There.
What I'm trying to look at what TSM have gone here. It looked like they were going back and forth on what they wanted to buy. Some was considering like a hero guardian, but no, they're just gonna play it kind of conservative, make sure they have some weapons for next. Wait, hold up. GMD on the glass cannon vandal. Interesting.
Selfie. I love this. Wide swing, cam goes out, GMD dead. No, I'm kidding. Coburg dead. My apologies. But still. I mean, just looking to see what they can do. And there's a big move just coming through in tunnels. Which, again, potential for a pick is huge, especially with GMD just feeling pretty confident with this. Now smoke set up. Spray downs, not able to find any potential through that, though.
Not something SAD have really done so far. And again, this is a moment where the lack of Sentinel can punish TSM. Typically, you would have a Cypher tripwire covering halls. But now look at the angles they have to pick up. GMD just gonna re-clear this. Oh, that timing is so tragic for Zostal. Wanted to pick up that poison cloud and gets caught.
Oh, and the angle peeking. It's the dry angle peeking that really starts to get you. And of course, I mean, the only person who can do a lot here is Bob and Darkest with the amount of util they have. But I heavily relying on Coburg just to find that pick. But 2 players still left over towards B. Absolutely huge lack of information. Drone, I mean, a huge possibility to come out, but they don't even use it. They pop flash themselves out, and it's Coburg getting taken out. Information could have been given away in seconds, and yet now you're still fighting the site with the Proto, finding each and every shot for a close-off. Thrifty round, by the way, 13-6 TSM.
There's the Proto Sheriff. It wasn't the Ion Sheriff, but I mean, yeah, he's crazy with that weapon and easily the MVP for that map. But he had like 3 clutches in the first half, a 1v1, a 1v3, and a 1v2 or something like that. But was the reason that they ran away with that on attack. It could have been a bit closer of a half for sure. So standout performance from him to really bring his team here onto Ascent. And, you know, I want to see if SAD can kind of tighten things up here because the team play was not looking as strong as it was on Split. Of course, Breeze, that was TSM's map pick. Split was SAD's. Both teams looking convincing on their own map. And the big question for me, Gompers, is are SAD going to bring out that crazy comp onto Ascent with the Yoru, Gecko, and the Brim? Because they've done it twice now. The first time, totally caught off M80. The second time, not as much success. So I'm wondering here if on the 3rd attempt they're going to bring that out, go back to something standard. We'll see.
If they don't bring it out, then truly what was the journey for, in my opinion?
Should have been a 2-0. Yeah, just get 2-0 at that point. Don't leave a Ascent in and yeah, that's messed up.
I think if they don't, the true friends we made were along the way. But of course, I really am hoping that we get to see it. I know you guys are too. We'll be right back with more NA Challengers.
face.